Welcome to My Spoonie Sisters, featuring stories from special guests dedicated to empowering those with chronic illness. Our goal? To connect people and provide the support and tools they need to live a better life. For those with chronic illness, our energy levels just fade faster. We must be more purposeful with the spoons allotted to us. So grab your coffee or tea, sister, and tune in as My Spoonie Sisters share stories of living with chronic illness. Hi, my Spoonie Sisters. I am your host, Gracefully Jen, and boy, do I have a treat for you today. One of my amazing friends, this is Andi Byers. She is a holistic nutritionist. She has so many things to describe her, but most of all, what I want to say is she brings joy and holistic methodologies to advance your growth. I mean, I could go on for hours, but Andi, hi, you can better tell us about yourself. How are you today?
I am fabulous. I'm grateful. Hey, y'all. My name is Andi. I'm a holistic nutritionist, a chronic illness coach, a registered nurse. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a friend, and I'm a sister. And I help women redefine what joy looks like for them through their own lens by helping them find processes that work for them so that they can thrive in life, business, health, whatever. But I help you take 5. That's what I do. I help you take 5 minutes a day to help you appreciate who you are and love on you so that you can love on others.
You said it so much better than me. All right. So we got on here to do our Zoom and you were in the middle of a super fun phone call.
Yes.
Should we tell people about that?
So life in the chronic illness world, on someone who has to take medication to survive, right? Not because it's a choice, because we just feel like calling and going to pharmacies. It's because we have to take it to survive, right? And so I'm on yet another cycle of vitamin D, right? And so I call and I'm like, hey, we've looked at my labs. My vitamin D is still in the basement. He told me to call when it was around time for a refill because I'm not moving. And I said, so I'm not moving. In fact, it's getting worse. We kind of need to do some things. I was like, so I left that message. It's time for my refill. Send a secure message. It's time for my refill. They have someone call me back. This has got to be the umpteenth phone call that I've gotten from a tech that didn't read my chart. Right? And so it's frustrating for me coming from the care side of healthcare as the carer. Like, just read, because reading is fundamental. And your lack of reading could literally be the trigger to someone's downward spiral. And so this conversation goes on and on and on and about this one thing I need, my vitamin D, right? Well, we wanted to discuss with you about your weight. How did we end up there is the question I don't understand. And in this case, I'm thinking they're going to go, well, we see that your weight is in a healthy range. It goes left. It goes left for about 15 minutes. We go down this rabbit hole of you'd feel better if you, consider maybe some low impact things to lose about 10 pounds. And I'm like, hold on. So we're not going to do that because it's obvious you haven't looked at my chart and I've lost a substantial amount of weight in a year. All not to my doing. Some of it was stress weight. About 60% of it was stress weight. Once I decided that I mattered and I stopped stressing out, that weight came off. And some of that was not because of that, right? And so I'm like, I don't feel like you've paid attention to who I am as a person, not as a person on paper, not as a patient, but who I am as a person. And had you read, you would have known. And so then they went through you can't be on vitamin D forever because we feel like it can't be your crutch. And I said, well, I have several things going on that kind of preclude me from being out running marathons and being out and exposed in sunlight for long periods of time. Then they get quiet. And I said, so here are my options. I can go do the things that you just told me to do that doesn't make sense. And I can be laying in the street in front of my mailbox because you said I need to spend 4 hours outside a day. I live in my body. I know that some days my body's not capable of doing that, but my body's capable of walking to the mailbox to get the mail. I said, I stay out there for as long as my body allows me so that I can get some sunlight. I said, but what you just did, not okay. So when can I pick up my prescription? And they felt bad. They got really quiet. Your prescription will be ready in 15 minutes. You have the day your energy attracts. Whatever that is for you, I hope your day gets better. I hope you're surrounded with good, positive, uplifting energy, because the way you communicate with people affects them. And every person in this chronic illness world is every person in life is on their own particular journey of healing something, some trigger, some wound.
Well, and all it takes is 5 minutes. 5 minutes to look over your chart.
5 minutes.
It is such a pet peeve of mine when you go in there. And my example is every single time, is there any chance that you could be pregnant? No, there has not been a chance of me being pregnant since 2007. But thank you for looking at my chart.
Right. Right. So my favorite is, when was your last cervical exam? I said, what? I said, well, the thing is, don't you have to have a cervix in order to exam said cervix?
Exactly.
Oh, we didn't realize you didn't realize though. But you have, the thing is, what bothers me is they have you spend all of this time filling out the pre-appointment questionnaire. Then you get to the doctor's office where you fill it out again. Then the tech takes you back and takes your vitals, where you regurgitate what you put on the paper that they didn't read the second time because they got it electronically the first time. Then you get to sit with the provider for you to repeat it again, and they're still not listening. And they still ask the same questions. And I'm like, but how though? Active listening is really a skill that I think is a lost art.
Absolutely. And I've known people that work in the medical field that are phenomenal, and they strive to do exactly what we're talking about, right? They strive to take that 5 minutes to know you as a person. But I'll tell you, another pet peeve of mine is when you're at an appointment and you see them all in this like little lobby area as you're coming out, and they're just laughing, goofing off. And I'm like, I waited out in the lobby 20 minutes past my appointment. Maybe this is why we're running behind. Yep. Like, yes, I want you to have fun in your day, and I still want you to enjoy your day.
Right.
But you're still doing a job. You're providing a service. And so there needs to be some responsibility and maturity there. And once again, let's circle back. Take that 5 minutes to know.
5 minutes. Just take 5. Yeah. Like, really, just take 5. It's so applicable to every aspect of your life.
And, I think that's why I miss my family doctor from the town we just left, because, oh my gosh, it's like he memorized our whole family. I went in, he was asking about my husband, asking about my daughter, telling me about their
Because your lifestyle factors play a part in your healthcare. Like the whole picture plays a part in you thriving.
Oh, yeah. And he would talk to me about my RA too, and how it was doing and how things were going with the rheumatologist. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, this is how it should be. Relationships. This is how it should be.
Yes. You should feel safe in knowing that they took enough time to read enough about you to not kill you. That's the thing. Can you take the 5 minutes? Because that's where you're going to get all the good stuff. The good stuff is in the first 5 minutes. To not kill me.
Oh, yeah. It shouldn't be up to my pharmacy to call my doctor and say, you just try to prescribe her something that she's allergic to.
That has happened to me a lot. They're like, oh, but it only has a little bit. It only has a little trace of aspirin. I'm like, I am deathly allergic to aspirin. Not kind of allergic. Not you get a little rash. Like anaphylaxis allergic to aspirin. I don't care if it has a trace. It means that anything that has a trace of an aspirin component, I can't have it. My throat will close. Well, typically people don't react. We're not going to do typically. Because,
You're not
and I
typical.
remind people all the time, statistically, I'm the one. Like, I'm the one. You're like, no one dies under 40. And then they're like, oh, but you did. Statistically, if it's going to happen to anybody after you just gave some statistics of it not happening, I'm going to be the patient that comes back and goes, well, hey there, it was me. Where you said it never happened. Me with the hitch face and the puffy ears. It's going to be me drinking Benadryl like a Capri Sun.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's insane.
And let's remind the listeners, maybe I can find it, but if you have not gone and listened to the first episode that Andi was in, go do it. Just, come back to this one, but go listen to the other one first. Let me see here. You were in season 1. Episode. Oh my gosh, you are like way back there, honey.
I actually just bookmarked it so that I could put it in my link tree.
Like it is far back here. Here you are, July 1st of 2022.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's not telling me the episode number. Am I blind? Oh, here it is. Season 1, episode 14. Go listen to Andi as we talk about, I think this name is perfect, autoimmune mayhem.
Yes. It's a storm.
So since we talked last July, you've been doing so many amazing things. Do you want to kind of update people that are familiar with you, what you've been up to?
Well, first, let me just say this. So you guys hear Jen's voice all the time, right? And you may see her on the socials. But what you guys don't know is what Jen does behind the scenes, right? So we're going to take a moment to highlight Jen because she spends a lot of the time highlighting the community. So we're going to take a moment to highlight Jen.
I think you're going to make me cry.
Probably. So I've known Jen since before July of 2022. When I first started getting my feet wet in the Instagram social media streets, I was still kind of hiding from me. And Jen befriended me just out of the blue. Hey, I see you. And for the first time in a very long time in a sea full of people on the internet, I mattered to someone enough for them to listen to what I had to say. And that sticks with me to this day. Like every time I see or hear her voice, I remember that she was my first friend on the internet in a sea of people listening to what little old me had to say. So we fast forward to my account getting shadow banned, my first one. And I freak out. I'm like, this is stupid. I've established these relationships. I have this support community, and I felt broken. Like I felt broken. I finally found a space of peace, and then I get shadow banned, right? So I don't remember people's names on stuff, and I'm like, how do I find these people? Jen found me. She took 5, right? That number just keeps popping up in my life. She took 5 minutes and said, something's not right with Andi, like she's been missing. And you were right when you did that because I wasn't okay. Jenny, I wasn't okay. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate you caring enough about me to notice my absence and caring enough about me to reach out to find me and tell me, dust yourself off and do it again because the world needs you. Because I was broken and I was just ready to just be like, this is not for me business wise. but it was you that helped me just hold on. So thank you for that. Now that she done made my eyes sweat.
Oh, yeah, I'm over here sweating too.
Yeah, now that she's made my eyes sweat, and I'm all stuffy. What's going on for me, right?
Oh,
What have I been doing?
so much.
I've been doing a lot. I've been doing a lot of pouring. On my journey to healing me and redefining and life and living, I've just been pouring, right? And I start my day with me, but I see little specks of me all over the world in just wanting to make it a better place. And so we did the Move and Joy Summit in January. We had a lot of phenomenal women there. We just talked about things that affect women and women with chronic illness and sabotaging thoughts and self-doubt and limiting beliefs and how we can thrive together as a sisterhood, how we can thrive together as a community, and how we can best support other people like us along the way. And so I've been doing that a lot more. You'll see me a lot more on the gram, just popping up, and on Facebook, just popping up, just talking and educating people on just easier ways to life, right? Because life is going to happen. It's going to happen. And then in the course of doing that, I realized that while I was working with these phenomenal women, a lot of their burnout was because they just never had the solid foundation to start. It is not that the idea wasn't great, because the ideas are phenomenal. They just didn't have processes in place that were efficient, that helped them not feel burned out, right? And I said, my mind works that way. And I asked God, I said, after my heart attack, I asked God, I said, use me how you need to use me for the people who need to hear my voice. Let me hold the hand of the people who need me to hold their hand when they need it the most. Let me save someone else from them like you saved me from me. And so that's what I do now. Like I actively listen and I'm present. And if there's something that I know that I can give you, a tool that I can give you to put in your toolbox so that you're not me, so that your wake up call isn't, holy crap, you just died. So that you can take the minute, so that your excuse is never, I don't have time. I just want to give people the tools to realize they have the time to take 5 and still manage a business and still be a mom and still manage their health and thrive. And so that's what brings me joy these days, is knowing that I'm in a safe place with me and a place of peace, and that peace and comfort isn't a front, that when I show my face, people see and can feel my peace and comfort when I speak.
I am so proud of you. So proud of you. You're out there and you're not only taking really good care of yourself and staying in tune with what you need and filling your own cup, but you're doing that for others. And that's exactly why I reached out to you a few weeks ago, because my wheels were spinning. And we do that so often. We overburden ourselves. We put too much on our plate. We don't take breaks when we need them. I kind of took a break when we moved, but not totally. I really should have just said, hey guys, peace out. I'll be back when I can.
Yep.
But I didn't. And then it just kept going. And before you know it, I was ready to crash. And I'm just glad that I reached out to you and said, oh my gosh, can we talk? Like, help, listen, something, I don't know. And I feel like you got me right back on track again.
We're sisters and I get it and I've been there, but I see a lot of me in you, Jen. The constant doer, the instant nurturer, the snap to fix it. I see a lot of me in you. And so I remind myself daily, and I remind everyone with the fix it complex, right? with the fix it. I can fix it. Let me help you. I can fix it. I had to come to a place in my life where I had to realize that I can't fix someone else's stuff. I can give them tools, and what they do with those tools is their choice. And I can want all of these things for you and all of these things for people, but what they do with the tools is their choice. And so I see a lot of me and you. And I want you to remember that it wasn't yours to fix, that you didn't break
Absolutely.
it, and it wasn't yours to fix. And so when you're looking at you and nurturing you, like, look at you. Look at the little girl, Jenny. What did she need? What did she need? She needed someone to nurture her, to love her, to protect her, to pour into her just as much as you feel like the people around you need that of you.
Calling all spoonies. As a host of a chronic illness podcast, nothing lights up my day more than hearing from you, our incredible listeners. Whether it's a topic close to your heart that you want us to uncover, or you are keen to show your own journey as a guest on our show, your voice matters. Living with chronic illness can often feel isolating, but through the power of podcasting, we can come together as a community to uplift, educate, and inspire one another. Your stories, insights, and questions drive the conversations we have and the topics we explore. So if there's something on your mind, a story that you are just itching to share, or a guest you'd love to hear from, don't hesitate to reach out. Your voice is not only welcomed here, but celebrated. Let's continue to amplify the voices of those living with chronic illnesses and create a space where everyone feels heard, supported, and empowered. Together, we are stronger. Well, and I think to go with all that, one thing that we all need to get better at, and there's some people that are really good at it, and I'm envious, but I have this problem. If I receive a text, and it could be from even a family member, my phone goes off. It doesn't matter if I'm out to a nice dinner with my husband, if we're on a little mini vacation for the weekend, I grab the phone. And I feel like I have to respond that minute.
Oh.
And we don't have to. We don't have to. We are not at anyone's beck and call.
No.
And so if I'm, what's a good example? Okay. My husband and I decided to take a weekend trip to Seaside, probably like 2 months ago, Seaside, Oregon. And it's the ocean. It's fun. It's something to do. My phone was blowing up. And granted, some of it was family. And finally, I just had to say, look, I haven't really seen much of my husband lately. We're on a little mini vacation. I'll talk to you Sunday.
But see, why did you feel like you had to explain that? The thing is,
Exactly.
You could have put your phone on Do Not Disturb. None of those notifications would have come through because you chose to be present in the moment with your husband, right? So we look back at like the actions. We set these boundaries, right? And we expect people to adhere to these boundaries, but then we don't even enforce them in that. Even if they didn't adhere to the boundary, we didn't enforce it by putting another wall up. Like there was no other, what if they breach this I'm trying to do, because they know that you're trying to do things. And in the same token, they just kind of want to see what you're up to. But if you don't have the capacity to entertain the messages, I started putting my phone on Do Not Disturb to allow myself to be present. And it helped me identify how often I grabbed that phone. And it helped me identify that there were situations and relationships with people that we literally just sat across the table from each other on our phones, talking about what we saw on our phones. And it made me realize that I did not know how to have a conversation with a person not associated any longer, associated with something that I saw in pop culture or something that I saw on Instagram. So we started the phone down rule. We go out to dinner or lunch or whatever, phones face down, middle of the table. Whoever grabs their phone first pays. That's the thing. Whoever grabs their phone first pays.
I love that.
After having to pay a couple, 2-3 times, and you are in a group with people that are foodies, it makes you want to be present. It makes you realize that you hadn't been present. And all of the memories that you thought that you made, you didn't really make a whole lot. You took a picture, but a year from now, you probably couldn't remember the conversation you had in that moment. Sis, put your phone on do not disturb. If it's an emergency, by the third call, it'll ring. But
well, and quite honestly, if it's an emergency and they can't get a hold of me, they will call my husband. They will call me. And so, I don't need to know every little, I don't know. I don't have a great example right now. I don't need to know every time my grandson poops. No, they do not tell me that, but that's the only example I thought of.
Right.
But, I don't need to know those things. And so if it's an emergency and I'm on vacation, okay, yes, call me.
Yeah.
But, you don't want to be that friend. And gosh.
But what does that mean? You don't want to be that friend.
So I have a friend that I'm trying to decide if I want to throw her under the bus. I don't think she listens to the podcast anyway, but she is that friend. Like I could not see her for a couple months. We get together and we're having dinner and a game night. And I keep looking up going, is she ever going to put the phone down? And she has a million reasons why she has her phone down. Some of them are, she's part of this like online community of designers selling things. And I get it, but I'm here with you and I want to hear you and I want you to hear me and I want that time together. And so you don't want to.
Your hubby wants that too.
Exactly.
So what you saw was a reflection of, you said, oh no, you got your, no, I'm doing that. The thing that pokes the bear.
Exactly. Yes. So you don't want to be the one receiving it, but you don't want to be the one doing that to someone else. And so it's all about those boundaries. And it's taken me a while to finally realize that I don't have to be there every 2 seconds. Oh my gosh, a year ago, last February, I was on a work trip with my husband and he was at a meeting. I was in the hotel by myself, which is fine. And it was fine that I was choosing to go to Instagram and answer messages, but I also wanted to get out in the town and kind of walk around and explore. And someone reached out to me and it was a newer person and they were going through some things. And I literally just jumped on the king size bed in the room and started replying back to them. And yes, that's a good thing that you're doing when you do that kind of thing. But at the same time, it's okay to say, I'm actually out of town. I'm not available right now. I can do that with my emails. So why can't I do that with everything else?
Right. You set up the auto reply on your socials when you're out and about.
Yep.
I'll get back to you when. Okay. And then you just leave it be. Just leave it be. The thing is, somewhere down the line, and I don't know where, I can't actually pinpoint when it was for me that it started, the desire to over-explain why I can't do something. Like the why I feel bad because I've actually had plans, but you need me. So I really had to sit with that. And I struggled with that for a really long time. And sometimes I still struggle with, but you need me. And then I have to ask myself, but who needs you more right now? Because they can need you and you need you too. And if you're not 100%, their need now depletes you. Who needs you more? So before you can be whole for someone else, pour into you. Go make the memories, see the sights, take the trip. Tell people you don't, instead of I'm sorry I'm doing. Why are you apologizing for living, for doing? Instead, I don't have the capacity for this in this moment. I'll get back to you.
Exactly.
I don't have the capacity for this in this moment, but I'll get back to you. We can circle back because it has to be safe. Like, and safety starts with you. Mentally, you have to be safe. And because we're nurturers, we're empaths, we absorb those things and they become our things. And then we stop doing the things that bring us joy because we feel guilty for being able to do the things that bring smiles to our faces when we know that there's people in our lives that are carrying things that are heavy. And you feel guilty for smiling and living life because we absorb that. That was me for years, feeling guilty about having things that were great and celebrating accomplishments and smiling because I knew the other people in my life weren't there yet.
And we need to take that balance to be supportive to others without taking on all their pain, all their drama, all their emotions.
Yep.
You have to find a place to leave it at the door. A psychiatrist, psychologist, oh gosh, what's the difference? Counselor, let's go with counselor.
I mean, both of them counsel. One can prescribe medications.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they have to find a way to leave it at the door.
Mm-hmm.
It is so detrimental to go home from work and take all of that home with you. So why, as an everyday person, do you want to take everybody's stuff home with you?
That's the thing. My purse is heavy enough, y'all. My purse is heavy enough. My backpack purse, because I can't carry a regular purse. So my backpack purse is heavy enough. And I love you. Like, and in me loving you, sometimes you have to be honest and go, but I love me more. I love you so much that I'm going to allow you to walk this walk the way you need to walk it, not the way I'm telling you to walk it, because you have to hit that spot. I love you enough to say, I don't have the capacity, because if I try to be present right now, my mind's going to be like, why are we doing this? So I love you enough to respect you enough to say, I don't have the capacity for this today.
So on a fun note, what is the weirdest thing you keep in your purse?
Okay. Weirdest thing. So the thing is, there is so much stuff in my purse. And it all depends on what you consider weird. So right now in my backpack purse, I have a TENS unit. I have an acupuncture tool. I have some essential oils. I have Dots pretzel sticks, the Southwest seasoned ones. I have shot bottles of pickle juice. I have some ginger chews next to the thing of pickle juice. Very weird combination, back to back. Don't recommend it.
Oh, that would be so weird.
What else? I have a ginormous pencil because it makes me giggle when people like take my number down. So I take the giant pencil. I'd be like, okay, what's your number? Hilarious. I have some lotion. What else do I have in there?
Yeah, that's a really heavy bag.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff in my bag. Oh, I got a blood pressure cuff and some compression socks.
So part of why I was asking is because, I've been doing a lot of traveling, like weekend trips here and there, and we're getting ready to go to Hawaii next week. And I keep taking all the things out of my purse and I would throw it in my luggage. I'd be like, oh, I don't need this right now. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, why do I have half these things in my bag right now? And what can I get rid of?
Okay, so I'm about to hit you with the things. Okay, so if you have a lot of liquids that you carry around, right, in your purse, the little the droppers that they use if you were like infusing a cupcake.
Oh yeah.
I take my liquids. It's literally one amount. That way I always have it. So I keep my thing of lotion because nobody likes to have, dry hands. But if it's like my essential oils or it's something for pain, it is literally one serving. Then I put them in little cases. I just drop the case in there. All of my quick, I'm going to need this because it helps me survive, in the little squeezy dropper things.
That's a great idea.
It makes traveling way easier, especially going through airport security.
That's a great idea. I've got all my meds in there and I've gotten better. I have my little my little pill container from Be Well that has my 3 slots for my pills. And so I've been trying to do that and not carry the whole entire bottle
but it's so hard. It's hard because you're like, but what if I get stranded? And what if I don't have enough? And then you're like, what if I can't get them to transfer it to this pharmacy? What if I have insurance beef? It's a whole thing.
It is so hard. And every time we travel, my husband's like, okay, well, what if you go into a flare? Do you have stuff for that? If you were going to have stomach problems, do you have stuff for that? Do you have stuff for your anxiety? If you have a panic attack, do you have stuff for that? What about if you have one of your allergy attacks and you can't stop itching? Do you have something for that? And I'm like, I'm trying not to take all the things, and you're promoting me to take all the things.
But the thing is, you have to take all the things because all he wants is for you to be safe.
Yeah. Well, we got one of those 20-inch roller travel, the kind you can put above your seats.
Mm-hmm.
So we both have one of those. And so I'm putting all the extreme essentials in there.
Yes.
But in my purse, I'm not going to I'll carry like a day's worth of meds because I'll still have my travel bag with me with all the things, but I do not need to carry all the things in my purse. I got to stop doing that.
It's almost like after you have kids, you still carry diaper bag style. And then you're like, why do I have all this stuff in my purse? It is because you're like, but what if they need? But somewhere down the line as an adult, we're like, but why do I have this? And we stop thinking, but what if I need in exchange for, there's so much stuff in my thing. But the bottom line is you have it because you may need it. Right. Yep. And so now it's just a way they make the coolest purses now for people that are chronically ill with all of the little organizers in it. And I was like, where was this 16 years ago where I could literally just have a perfectly organized purse?
Exactly.
Everything had a spot. Nothing was lost at the bottom. It was just great.
Well, I bought one of those. You could use it as a hip pack or you can use it across your chest.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I saw that. Did you like it?
Yes. So we got one of those. It is, I don't know if you're familiar with Aloha bags, but you can only get them in Hawaii or order them online from the Aloha place. So I got one because it's water resistant.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that we do, if I get splashed on or whatever, it's fine.
Right.
And so I'm really going to try to only carry around what I absolutely am going to need with me that day.
Yes.
For whatever adventure we're going on. If we're going to the Sea Life Park, what do I need at Sea Life Park?
Yes.
So that's my goal. And I'm going to have it right here on my chest where I can just be like, okay, it's here. I'm good.
Yeah.
We'll go back to the hotel. If I need something else, it's there.
Yes.
We'll see how it goes. I'll report back.
We don't have to be bag ladies all the time.
No. And my shoulders just can't do it anymore. I used to always have the big giant bags. But, I'm having shoulder issues. I'm about to have surgery when we get back. I can't carry all the things anymore. So I'm using smaller purses, but yet I'm still overloading them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So anything else fun you want to talk about?
Let me ask you a question. If you could be any animal, what animal would you be and why?
Okay. So I would be a koala. And part of it is because I've always thought they were just super adorable. My grandparents, when I was like 9 years old, they went to Australia. And when they came back, they had all these cute pictures of my grandma holding one. And they hang on you and hug you like you're a teddy bear or I don't know. They hug onto you. And it's adorable. Yes. And my grandma just loved it. And they even brought me one that was like 3 inches tall and it could hang on your blinds, the little rod that comes down. So it was like this cute little koala that hung on the rod. And so every time I opened my blinds in my bedroom, I got to see that little koala. And I don't know, I just always loved it. So I
found out recently that being a panda cuddler is a real job. Do you know that you can go to China and get paid $30,000, $32,000 a year to cuddle infant pandas.
Be so fun.
If I could do anything before I die again, it would be cuddle a panda. Oh, pandas bring me so much peace. They like snacks and naps, and they're playful, and they just eat bamboo and mind their business. And that's me. I snack and mind my business. Then I take some naps.
So you're going to be the panda cuddler, and I'll be the koala holder.
Yes.
There we go.
It could be a whole safari. We could do the whole thing.
Ooh, yeah.
We can bring some friends.
We just need someone that wants to play with little baby tigers.
I'm here for that.
That would be fun. You know, my daughter went on a mission trip to Mexico, and I did too, but I went a year later, and I didn't get to do the fun thing they did. But they went to this place where for $80 a person, you get to go in this little room and play with baby tigers.
Wait, when you say baby tigers, though, are they like kitten size? Or are they like greyhound size? Or like Great Dane size? Because, you know, they're still tigers.
Yes.
Not light.
Yes. So they're picture like a medium-sized cat.
Oh. Okay.
But my sister-in-law, who also did this, she was like, never again. It could have taken off my hand. And like she had a scratch that went down her hand.
That's valid.
A couple of them had minor punctures.
Oh.
I sent Neosporin with my daughter. But I mean, it is a big cat.
You know, that's a lot happening. That's a lot happening.
So that's, you know, you're paying $80 to take a chance.
Yeah.
I would still do it just because I'm crazy and I want to play with a baby tiger. And
so I'm putting you on the spot. When are we doing a Gracefully Jen meetup? Because I feel like it's time. I think it's time for us to plan an adventure for our sisters.
Ooh. Okay, so we did talk about this a few weeks ago. And
we did.
And you got me thinking about it.
And I've never been to Washington or Oregon or any of those places. So
I am thinking if there's an interest there, I mean, I know at least there'd be one person.
I'll be there. So that was two.
So I'm thinking probably 2024, the best time of year. And it sucks because it's the busy time of year, right? Is the summer. But for the Oregon or Washington coast, it's rainy. It's wet. It's cold. Like it's pouring rain at my house today. I went from living in the desert to now I live in the rain. But a phenomenal place to do a meetup, I think, would be in Seaside, Oregon, Lincoln City, Oregon, anywhere down there. You get the beaches. Cannon Beach. Cannon Beach is where Goonies, the big haystack rock that you see in the movie Goonies, that's where that's at. And, you know, they've got boardwalks and fun little shops, and you can go play in the water. We've done clam digging before up further north. Yeah, I mean, so I'm thinking somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Probably next summer. I got to kind of.
I'm thinking that's going to be exciting and everyone should jump in. And I'm thinking that we're going to have a blast and we're going to release some things and I'm going to be there and I may have treats. So stay tuned for Jenny announcing when and where over the next, 8 or so months. When she gets closer to announcing when we're going to meet up, stay tuned for an iconic surprise for the Spoonie Sisters meetup.
Thanks for always pushing me.
It's going to be great.
All right. Well, any last thoughts for anyone?
No. If you're on Facebook and you're looking for some holistic tools to bring yourself some joy, join my Facebook community. It's the Move and Joy community. Facebook group, we talk about things that happen to women. We're talking about mindset. We're talking about movement. We're talking about nutrition. We're talking about business. If you're not following me on the gram, I am Chronically Iconic Coach on the gram, also on Facebook. And yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'll make sure to share all the many links. Until next time, don't forget your spoon. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only. Consult your own physician for any medical issues that you may be having. The information should not be taken as a replacement for medical, clinical, professional advice, diagnoses, or medical intervention. My Spoonie sisters and guests will not be held liable for any of the consequences of such action or inaction. Trigger warning. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics including, but not limited to, suicide, abuse, mental illness, and chronic disease. You are advised to refrain from listening if you are likely to be offended or adversely impacted by any of these topics. None of the guests or hosts will be responsible for your use of the information contained therein. Life is not merely to be alive, but to be well. Living a life with a chronic illness is best described with one word: unpredictable. Be Well's products are designed to make the unpredictable easier to deal with. Back when I was getting my infusions, I would have loved to have their adult zip hoodie. They even have one in pink. They also have everything from one-day pill holders to urgency buckets. So remember, they want to make your life a little easier. So be sure to check out Be Well.